Mascarilla, bitch, I'm dying, Mascarilla.
Live Mascarilla, bitch, I'm dying, Mascarilla.
Yo, what up? It's Roger from the Mascarilla podcast. Today we're here with Brennan Savage.
Hello.
Brennan,
Good to be here.
right off the bat, what time do you normally wake up in the morning and or afternoon?
It varies. It depends on what I get into, I guess. But on average, like 3, 4.
Yeah, because we were supposed to do this podcast a week ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, man, it's 2 p.m. Good. I know you wake up late. And you were like, yeah, it's chill.
Yeah.
So I set up this whole room, waiting around 6:30. I get a text from Brennan. It's like, dude, my bad. I just woke up.
Yeah, that was a long night though. That was a little later than average.
Because I bring this up not to just make fun of you, but to also bring up the fact that you were jet lagged.
Yes.
You just got back from Europe.
Yes, I did.
Dude, what was that about?
It was fucking crazy, man. It was like an amazing experience. Taught me a lot. I learned a lot about not only like my career and whatnot, but like what I actually want to do. Like how I learned a lot about how I'm going to move forward and progress and what I need to do to get to the level I want to be at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a training experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just like, yeah, it was crazy. It was mind blowing. It just like changed my whole perspective on everything.
Because how long was that tour?
A full month.
30 days.
Yeah, like 29 days or something.
And it was Europe and Russia?
Europe and Russia and Ukraine.
And before that, you still haven't really done like a proper headlining show in a real venue in America yet.
No, before that I did like 5 shows ever.
Yeah.
And they were all like pretty small. You know?
They're like, like ham shows.
Yeah. But I never headlined a show before that.
So how'd that come about? You and Kill Station, right?
Well, Kill Station did a Russian tour. It was like a 3-city Russian tour with Booking Machine, like a booking agency. Yeah. And then I guess they reached out to him and they were like, we want to do a full European Russian tour, but we want Brennan to come with you. And then, he reached out to me and told me that. And I was like, let's fucking go. Like, I'm ready. And yeah, and then it just took a couple months of planning to like finalize everything, but it happened and it was crazy.
And the fans were going crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It was wild.
Dude, I saw some of those videos and
yeah, dude, shit was fucking, like I said, it was crazy. I did not expect it to be anywhere near that caliber.
Crazy.
It was just like, it really shows like that it showed me like this shit is real, you know what I mean? It's not just the internet, like this shit is real.
It's not just like Spotify streams or SoundCloud numbers.
Yeah, it's like that in real life.
Packed out venues all across the world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was wild.
From LA to Europe. Well, you're not from LA.
No, I'm from Long Beach, New York.
Me and you were both from Long Beach.
Yeah.
And you've told me this story probably like 3 times already, but I still don't fully comprehend exactly your history in Long Beach and you moved. So what's that all about?
Okay, so my dad was a firefighter in New York, and shortly after 9/11, he basically retired. He went on to light duty for a while, and then he was able to retire. And we went to San Diego, like we visited California, and he was like, this is the place we need to move to. So that was when I was like 9 or 10 or something. So then we moved to San Diego. And I went to middle school and high school there. And then I obviously visited like 3 times a year back to New York. I was back and forth all the time because all my family's there. So we were back for all holidays. At the beginning, we were going back for everything. Thanksgiving, like every single holiday. And then when I graduated high school, me and Gus moved to LA together. So he was still in New York. I was in San Diego. We were still very close friends. So we were like, oh, let's move to LA.
Wait, so before we get into that, your dad, was he in New York on 9/11 at the World Trade Center?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
What, I mean, have you heard stories about that? Like, what was that?
I mean, he told me some crazy shit. I mean, he lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
He saw some really fucked up shit. And like, yeah, I've heard countless stories. I won't even get into them. But
Yeah.
I've heard some crazy shit.
Dude, I mean, yeah, like being from Long Beach, which is really close to New York City, it's like
Yeah.
a 40-minute train ride away.
Yeah, he worked
Yeah.
in Rockaway.
Okay.
So, but like, you know,
But yeah, I mean,
9/11,
like
all
everyone
units, yeah.
came out, and I remember that day. I still remember I was in the 5th grade that day in school. Like, they start calling kids down to the office. Dude, I'm gonna like get emotional just talking about it, but, like literally telling them that their parents are gonna be able to pick them up. And like, dude, like fucking like half of the neighborhood, like people's parents and firefighters, like, dude, it was fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
I had a couple people in my class who lost parents.
Yeah.
And I barely remember that day. I was really young. I think it was in like 1st grade or something.
Yeah, because I'm a tad bit older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I remember is going home and like seeing my mom watching TV and like crying.
Yeah.
And like I knew my dad was like there. I don't think he was like full. I don't think he was on duty when it happened. But like even if you're off duty,
Right.
you get
Like
called in. Yeah.
everyone got called in.
Yeah. So like I just remember like I knew he was gonna be all right for some reason. You know what I mean? Like I just had it in my mind. I was like, he'll be good. Like, but yeah, it doesn't really hit you at that age. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't really know what the fuck was going on.
I know. I remember my mom picked me up from the bus stop, and she was like, the World Trade Center, this happened, like, it's not there anymore. I'm like, what do you mean it's not there? Like, I literally couldn't comprehend that the building just couldn't be there.
Yeah, like holy shit. And like looking back on it, I'm like, wow, it's crazy that we got to experience that, like living in New York at that time, because that's like the craziest shit ever.
Yeah.
That ever happened in the United States. Like,
Yeah.
shit is wild.
Insane.
And like, yeah, like I said, I barely remember it, but all I know is that it was fucking tragic, beyond tragic.
So then how long after 9/11 did you move? You said it was a few years.
Yeah, so in 2001, I can't even do the math right now, but I don't even know how old I was. All I know is that I moved when
You're
I was...
probably like 6 years old or something.
Yeah, so we lived there for a couple years after. And then we moved when I was like 9. I think I was 9.
So your dad was a firefighter. What was your mom doing?
My mom was an architect, so she worked for the city as well. But she's retired as well. But she's been thinking about like getting back into it and whatnot. But I don't believe she was... I can't remember if she was working at the time, but I know she was at home. But yeah, she was an architect. And yeah, she taught me a lot of shit about like when it comes to that line of work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned a lot from both my parents, from like, even though you wouldn't expect like doing something creative, like learning from a career like that, you know what I mean? But I took a lot away from that shit.
Yeah.
Almost tapped the table there.
So, and you have one sibling.
Yeah, I have a younger brother.
You have a younger brother. So your dad, your younger brother, and your mom all moved to San Diego?
Yeah, we all moved.
And your dad was a firefighter over there too?
No, he was already retired. So it was basically like his retirement move, you know? He was like, where do I want to go? Where's the best place for my family? And so then he just loved San Diego. We all loved San Diego, so we went there.
Dude, that's sick.
It's fucking beautiful down there.
So what was it like kind of restarting your life at a young age? Now you're in San Diego, you have to make new friends. You got to go to middle school in the new place. Like, what was that like?
I remember being really upset about it.
I bet.
And being like, I do not want to be here. I want to go back to New York. I remember telling my parents, right when I'm old enough, I'm moving right back to New York. And they were like, no, you're not. Trust me. And then I was like, as I like adjusted to it, like it only took like a year or two, but then I was like, yeah, this is the spot, you know? Like, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I missed a lot of my friends, but I would see them so many times a year.
Right.
Because I have a cousin that's the same age as me.
Okay.
And he's my mom's sister's son. He's literally the same age as me, same grade, everything. So we were like best friends. And so he kept me in contact with all my friends, you know what I mean? Like he kept me updated. And it was like when I came back, it was like I never left.
So when you would go back to Long Beach, you would stay with them?
No, we kept our house.
Oh, you had 2 houses by Coastal Lake?
Yeah, we were renting out the house.
Oh, smart.
We kept the house and rented it out. And then, so we would like rent it out for a certain amount of time. And then when it was open, we would go back. You know what I mean?
That sounds like that's like the ideal lifestyle.
And you know what was even more ideal about it? A lot of times we were renting it to my uncle. So we'd be like, we want to come back for Christmas. And he's like, all right.
Oh my
and it's like, we
God.
just go back and he's staying there too. So it's like, you know, it's like not really intrusive. You know what I mean? We're all family.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's crazy. It's a rare situation that I was in.
So what was high school like in San Diego? Like,
High
what kind of
school?
kid were you in high school?
I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. I was just a pretty average kid, like just obsessed with skateboarding
Yeah.
and like fucking smoking weed and just like doing the normal California kid shit, you know?
Did you ever get into surfing over there in San Diego?
Honestly, I never did. I surfed a couple times. I remember I surfed one time in Hawaii. It was the first time I surfed. And I loved it. And then one time I went surfing with my uncle and I got hit in the head really hard with the board. And
that
I was
will
like,
just
I'm out.
right there.
I was like, never
Yeah.
again.
It will just stop you in your tracks.
It really did. It was scary as shit. And I never really did it again. I would like to try it again, I guess.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
And you know, we're from Long Beach, so
Yeah, exactly. People don't realize when I say I'm from New York, they're like, oh, you're from the city? I'm like, no, I'm from Long Island. It's like a surf town. They're like, a surf town?
yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
It's a really hard thing to explain, especially when I moved out here and people are like, where are you from? And I'd be like, I'm from Long Beach. And they'd be like, oh, you're from Long Beach, like an hour
Yeah.
away? And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm from Queens, all right? I'm from
Yeah.
Queens.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain if you don't know like the whole layout of New York and like different
Yeah.
boroughs and all that stuff.
But Long Beach for 3 months in the summer is pretty similar to like Venice or Santa Monica.
Yes, very
But then in the
similar.
winter, it's kind of a desolate,
Yeah, it's really cold.
miserable. Yeah.
But yeah, people can't imagine it, but like people travel all over New York. I guess not all over New York, but like from the city
Oh, yeah.
to Long Beach just to go to the beach and shit.
Yeah. Like from all on Long Island, from all in the city, it's like the last stop on the train and everyone comes off and
That's my street.
hangs out in the
That's
summer.
my block, Long Beach Road.
Oh, right. Right. It's
Long
so
Beach Road and
funny.
Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah, that's right. Or no, the train
Stand
station's
up.
on what?
Dude, I have no idea.
Edwards or something? I
I'm
don't
such a
even know.
bad like Long Beach resident.
I know. I suck, bro.
Dude, I went home a couple weekends ago to surprise my mom for her birthday. And like, I seriously was like lost for a second. And I was like, where the hell is Gino's? I can't remember.
No, that's so true because I'll be back and we'll be walking, like me and my friends, and they'll be like, oh, it's on this block. I'm like, how many blocks away is
Yeah,
that? They're
like,
like,
wait,
bro,
what?
You don't know that? I'm like, bro, I haven't been here for a while. Like, give me a break.
So in high school, were you already getting into music or?
No, well, I've always loved music. Like, I was just always obsessed with like the whole, just like seeing different artists and their styles, their videos and all that stuff. I was always obsessed with that. But Gus really like brought me to a different level with that music shit. Like he like not making it, of course making it too, but like that was our main bond. Was through music. Like just
So,
being
like,
fans of music.
So even in high school, when you were flying back to New York, you and him stayed close.
Oh yeah, for sure. First person I called when I got off the plane type shit.
That's so crazy because yeah, like you posted a couple photos of you guys in Mets hats.
Yeah.
And you're like 10 years old tops.
Yeah, somewhere around there, like 12.
But that's crazy to think that you were already in San Diego and he was still in New York and you guys just maintained this such a close friendship.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you how that happened. I barely even remember meeting Gus, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even remember when we met.
Yeah, like were you guys in the same like elementary
We went to
school?
different elementary schools.
Where'd you go to?
I went to Alito.
Yeah, same here. Lito, stand
Gus
up.
went to
We went to East School.
Lindell.
Lindell,
Yeah.
right.
So fucking
Yeah, dude, how the fuck did that happen?
it was all through my cousin. My cousin like linked us up, linked me and all my New York friends up.
Wow, shout out your cousin.
Shout out Keith.
Shout out Keith. So, what kind of music were you listening to in high school? Like, what were you into? Because you're saying you're watching artists, you're studying them.
Well, mostly like hip hop and stuff. A lot of my friends I have that make music, they tell me like a whole different thing. Like they started off in like hardcore and punk and all this shit, and then kind of got onto hip hop a little later on and stuff. Mine was kind of the opposite. Like I started with like real underground type hip hop, like fucking like People Under the Stairs and Jedi Mind Tricks.
That's like classic underground. That's
Yeah,
not the
like,
SoundCloud
exactly.
underground. That's like,
and like Murs and shit like that. I already explained a little bit of that on another interview I did, but yeah, I loved all that type shit. And then I obviously loved like classic type punk type shit and like classic rock. My dad influenced me a lot with like music and shit. Like he listened to like a lot of Bob Dylan, Elton John, the Police, such a variety of musicians.
Yeah, because you're into like a lot of like 80s rock too, right?
Yeah. I love all that shit. And I see, like, when my dad was playing it back then, I'd be like, oh, like, this is all right. But now I, like, listen to it way more, and I'm like, damn, he knew what was up. Like, he knows the good music.
Crazy.
Yeah, and, like, that's some of my big influences now.
So was your mom working in San Diego? Like, what was she up to?
No, she wasn't working. I mean, she was like, figuring out if she wanted to keep doing the architecture thing. Like, she took like that whole I don't know what the exam is, but like took the whole exam to get her license in California or whatever, but she never got back into it. We like, mainly my parents are like really hands-on handy people. So when we got our house in San Diego, they just like spent so much time renovating the whole house by hand. Like,
wow.
And like, I remember coming home from school and like, I had no money. Like, I really didn't want to get a job. And I'd be like, Dad, like, just let me help you around the house and like throw me some money. He's like, all right, I'll put you to work. And would like teach me how to do all that shit, like tiling, framing.
Wow.
All that shit.
So what were you expecting to do after high school? Was the plan to go to college, or were you trying to get into, you know, some like blue collar stuff? Yeah,
well, I applied to a lot of 4 years. I got into a lot. I got into like, I was going to go to University of Boulder, Colorado. Oh, wow. I got accepted to University of Oregon, Chico State University, SDSU, a bunch. I applied to a lot of colleges. Like, I went through the whole, you know, like at the end of high school, you go through the whole college apps thing.
The whole process.
I did that all, like, hardcore, and like kept my grades up, and like that was my main goal. Wavy Jones FaceTiming me.
Wavy. Yeah.
But
so what happened? Did you end up going to school right out of high school, or no? Right?
Yeah, I went to community college.
Out here?
Yeah, in LA. Yeah.
Right. Where was that?
Glendale Community College. Shout out Glendale Community College.
Fucking shout out Glendale, man.
I fuck with that school. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I love Glendale.
Yeah, it's a great place.
I was just talking about Glendale with someone. Was it you?
Probably me, bro. I love Glendale.
Dude, the Americana. Fire.
The fucking, what's that shopping center? Is that a Glendale Galleria?
Yeah.
I'm always over there.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the spot.
Yeah.
So then by that point, you're 18. And is that when Gus came out here?
Yeah, he wanted to move to LA to pursue music. He was like, let's go to LA. That's the spot. And I was like, it just so happened that Glendale Community College is like a really high rated community college. So I was like, fuck it, I'm down to go there. And so then, like, me and Gus were kind of just correlating. I remember at one point we were talking about like moving to Santa Barbara because we went a couple of times in high school.
Dude,
you know,
I
that whole party scene, like Isla Vista.
Yeah.
But then, like, we were like, fuck that. We'll just go to LA. And then we went to LA, and I was just like, in school, just so lost. Like, I was like, fuck. Like,
because what were you trying to pursue in school at that point?
Business. I didn't know, bro. Like, it's the classic type shit. Like, you pick business as a major because you don't know what the fuck else to do.
Right.
So I was like, I'll figure it out. I was like, I know I don't want to work any type of 9-to-5 bullshit, so I'm going to try to do this business shit and then try to, like, entrepreneur my way into something, you know what I mean?
Because you weren't recording music at that point.
At all, no.
But Gus was already probably, like, a year into it.
Yeah, just, like, not seriously recording, but, like, finding the basics, how to do it.
Right.
He literally taught everything to himself, so, like...
Wild.
He wasn't really like, he still wasn't sure if it was going to work, you know?
Yeah.
But then it got to a point where he was like, this is going to work. I don't give a fuck what I have to do.
So this is 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
And is this when you end up in that Pasadena house? Like the famed Pasadena house?
Yeah, my mom helped us find that house. So I remember we were staying in San Diego at the time, like at my parents' house. So Gus flew out. And then we were there for the whole summer. My parents left us in the house for the whole summer. They went back to New York.
Wow.
They were like, be safe. And we were like, holy shit, this is fire. Just because we felt like very independent and shit.
Yeah.
And so then during that time in the summer, we had to find a house in LA. So we would like take my mom like left her car behind, and I would like take my mom's car up to LA for the day and go house hunting and like get denied by 10 places and then drive all the way back home to San Diego that night and be like, fuck, all right, let's try again tomorrow. And it was fucking hard, bro. I would not do that nowadays.
I don't even know how.
We were 18 doing that. Gus was 17.
I don't even get why anyone rented you a house to begin with.
No, yeah, well, exactly.
You have no credit.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't even have a credit card at that point, right?
I had nothing. Yeah, not shit.
I mean, you have like no work history.
Yeah, the only
you don't have any of the requirements needed.
The only thing I had was like, I'm gonna be a student. So that's the only thing that helped me out.
Right, that's true.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm in school and I have money to pay for rent.
Yeah, because I got financial aid. That's how I paid for my whole rent in college. I got financial aid.
How much was rent at that Pasadena house? I've always wondered.
$1,600 a month.
And it was like how many bedrooms?
2 bedroom.
2 bedrooms, and then there was a back house.
It was a garage.
It was a garage.
That wasn't a back house.
I never knew that wasn't a back house.
No, it was a garage.
That was like a legit garage that someone lived in.
Yes. Multiple people lived in there at different times.
So you move in there with Gus.
Live masculine, bitch, I'm